Thank you for joining. So, for all of you all that are listening, this is a new segment that I'm launching. It's called Wonder Woman Wednesdays. And you are my
Yay.
first Wonder Woman.
Yay!
All we
I
need
will
to do,
take
you
it.
are, and we just need to get you a cape. But you're my first Wonder Woman, and
Thank you.
you're so welcome. I'm just, I wanted to start with my family because I know that there's people that are close to me that are just doing amazing things. And we need to highlight that. We need to really, just be able to kind of lift each other up and say, hey, I see you and I see you're doing a great job. But what are you doing to take care of yourself? So,
Absolutely. This
yeah,
is so good. Yes, thank you.
we need to have those conversations. So, yeah, let's just get into it. It's going to be a real quick, casual conversation about what you're doing and how have you taken care of yourself. So, you have three kids. How are you juggling that and all the other things that you're doing?
Yes, I do. You'll have to tell everyone your niece, Anna Blair, back here is in the back. She's gonna, she just is demanding her way in this. And that's what they do. But yes, it's a handful. And I definitely think that three kind of is where I met my match for sure. So juggling, struggling,
That's
the
real.
whole thing, it's a handful. I mean, I love it so much. I love it so much. But I equally, can go a little crazy and have my moments, and it's not always easy. It's kind of the most beautiful, chaotic thing I say. It's just so unexplainable, but it is hard sometimes, but it is so rewarding and so worth it. Um, so right now, yes, I have my three. We actually have a fourth that doesn't live with us, but that is still a whole nother thing too. So we have two teenagers and like two toddlers.
And Anna's poking her head back there.
Yeah, let me put it. I'm so glad they came. Say bye bye.
Yeah, 13. Oh my gosh, what's
Yes.
the age of the rest of them?
Yes, and so Brennan is 4, and then Anna Blair is 1. They will be 5 and 2 in the next in April and May. So that's going by too fast.
It is, and I can tell they're busy, and you're busy running after
I know all the sounds. They knew that I was supposed to be doing this, but I mean, I get that was their version of quiet.
But that's what makes it all the more natural. So I'm glad they
Yes,
joined.
yes. Yeah, and then just kind of like speaking of, I'm here most of the time, just like in my home office, which is a disaster right now. I have visions for it. I started it and just something I never finished, but that just kind of leads me on to our business. We have a food truck, and now that is, pretty much my full-time job at this
Yeah.
point. And I love it. And I say that in a kind of like, I don't know how to, I guess, say it. I'll say, let me just start over with that. I'll just start over with I love it or something.
So I love it, and not but.
Yes. So, but yes, I love it. And I can say that now because I don't think I always did. Or I just didn't have any plans to really be a part of it. And now, I just have like such a huge role and I have such a big vision for it. And it has just done so well year after year. And we're just hoping to expand and it's hard, building and running a business and then being pregnant, having little kids. I nurse. Our parents are out of town, so we don't have like on hand help. So I always feel like things are in slow motion, but I think my big thing has always been just kind of like my time,
Yeah.
my journey when it's going to happen for me. And it took, even though it was always a mindset, it has taken me a very long time to kind of really trust in it.
Yeah.
I kind of always knew it and had the faith, but now I have to really live in that, and I have a, better understanding because, being a mother and a wife and, you know, I mean, I think that's just going to always come first.
Yeah.
It just is one of those things. I just guess I am very maternal.
Yeah.
And, no matter, I think, before children, before everything, I mean, I could even maybe say like self-centered, just always very goal driven and had a plan. Um, and then kids in life and marriage and, motherhood shows you
Yeah.
that for me, a personal experience, that's kind of how God showed me that, it's more about his plan and
Mhm.
doing things on his time and when
Yeah.
they're for you and, you don't, um, lose faith because when you have goals and you have dreams, I've had to take the perspective, wow, I have these goals and I have these dreams and I'm fulfilling them. And God also gave me like this other life with a husband and children and all of these things that I didn't necessarily, I don't want to say dream of, but I didn't really input that because I was thinking more about myself and like
Mhm.
how successful I wanted to be, and so now I'm like managing both of these things and very grateful. I've grown so much. I feel like,
Yeah.
you
I bet.
know, have a much better understanding. I'm in a really good place in, um, just trying to like stay on that path.
That is good to hear. But it's also very, I think, insightful and honest because I would imagine I don't have kids and a husband myself, but I can imagine like that. It's okay to just say sometimes I'm struggling or I
Yeah.
need some help or I need a break,
Yes.
and you're juggling all of that. But it's also okay to, like you said, you didn't always know this was your path, but
Yes.
you figured it
Yeah.
out. And you're still figuring it out, I'm sure, as you continue to
Hmm.
pray to talk to God and just seek His advice and things. Um, there was one thing you said I wanted to touch on. It was, gosh, I forgot that quick. Um, oh yes. So when because you said you switched from being, I guess, a little bit self-centered to now being focused on the family and what their needs are. But when is that moment where you can say, I need to put myself first because I don't know if I have anything to give anybody else?
Um, so with that being said, I mean, I think I had a lot of, I was like very confused, I think, after our first. And I did not, I just had a hard time transitioning from being a college student to being like a stay at home girlfriend and new mom. That was a huge transition. Um, and I had to really kind of understand where I was, but it took me a long time. Like it took me probably years to kind of like really understand where I was and to kind of move forward. And in my mind, I wasted so much time feeling some type of way or kind of having like some resentment or being confused or whatever. But then you also start seeing, like I said, for me, naturally, I just took on this role. Like, it doesn't come with like a manual or a book or anything. And I'm so blessed because some women don't, some women, it doesn't happen for them naturally. Some women really, really struggle. And it's not that I haven't struggled, but I feel like I just handled it. I just kind of like just switched gears automatically and handled it. And I sometimes don't even think that you see how much of yourself you're losing until after the fact. And you look up and you're like, oh, it's been a year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, decades. Especially when you start having kids kind of like either back to back or between my first two, I have a pretty big gap. So there's a difference between that and then having them close together, and you just kind of look up. And like I said, for me, um, my third baby, I think they were all surprises, but she was really a surprise. She was really a surprise. And she's just now about to turn 2. And really just within this year, I mean, she's still nursing only for a little bit. But she is. And that's like a whole nother conversation. But I really was like, whoa, if I don't force this time for myself and put myself first, I'm going to lose it for real.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying it for a while or feeling it or going back and forth, but I know for a fact that after this third baby, if I don't do for me,
Yeah.
then, and so you just have to. And I think you also get to a place to where, um, two things. One, you're exhausted and tired from all the things, putting everybody first. And then two, you kind of start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel when the kids are getting bigger. Like my 4-year old, he's in pre-K, so now he's gone. And, Anna Blair stays at home with me. But again, she's finally about to turn 2. I know I nursed for a long time, but she's about to not do that. So it's like my time is freeing up. Like I can do more. I'm out more. And it's like I can see it. I'm like, oh wow, this is really, I'm
Yeah.
finally coming back, and it takes time. And there's like a lot of bad days that go into that and a lot of emotions that go into that. But I do think just with um I don't know, some type of faith or confidence, goals or something just
Yeah.
that you kind of give to yourself, a good support system, whatever it is, if it's your husband, your family, your friends, the support is always good.
Yeah. And I noticed you and your husband take time out for a couple, for your
We
relationship.
try, we
Yeah.
do, and it gets harder and harder, and I don't, we don't do it enough. But we do still definitely make time, and it feels really good when you're like away from the kids and you just still have
Yeah.
fun together and
Hmm.
like just kind of revert to doing all the things that you love to do, and you're like, whoa, because at home, it just gets you know, I'm just trying to be very realistic. I think,
Absolutely.
we don't talk about it enough. I think
No.
women, we don't. We're in this place, and I think we're a part of this generation. And I think one of the pros of social media, I tell this story and use this as an example. When I had Aiden, that was in um 2009.
Hmm.
Social media had not blown up in the way that it has now.
Yeah.
And so when I was very alone in my mind, I think it's really great that now I can get online all day and see reels and memes and accounts of millions of
Yeah.
women who are like living the same situation, letting me know, girl, you are not crazy.
Yeah. And I figured like, me not having, like I said, being married or having kids, sometimes I'll be on there, like even with my friend Tiffany, I'm like, how do you find time? I think in my mind, if I had all of those things, I would be like everywhere. But
Yeah.
I think what, like you're saying, the beauty in having time for even social media for scrolling. I've known people that have been going through a traumatic event in the moment and are still scrolling on Instagram. And I think what's happening is they are looking for that connection, even if it's on social media, and they're finding it because they're seeing
Yeah.
somebody's video or, watching a reel or something like that. So that's a
Yeah.
really good point that you made.
I mean, it's just we're able to connect and be more relatable. And there's tons of pros and cons to social media for sure, but that is definitely a pro. I think it just lets you kind of know that, wow, we're all essentially kind of living the same, you know, um, And it's just really helpful, I think, to know. And just back to women being more transparent and not feeling like we have to be stuck in this role. Like women right now, we're just like we're like a force right now. Like people can't even do anything with
Can't
us.
even.
And I love it. And I think that being vocal about it and being honest about it, I mean, we've gone on for, generations and decades and centuries too long, just not, staying in these, I don't know, this mental space and not expressing, we just, I could just go on and on about it. But
Yes,
I'm
well,
so glad that we're being more open
hmm
and that we're talking about it and people are being more, accepting and like educating themselves because honey, being a mom, being a woman is not easy. Being a mom is definitely not easy.
yeah.
Like I said, there's no handbook. There
No,
is no handbook and there's no rule book. So
yeah. You're responsible
yeah.
for yourself and your self-care, and then these little humans, these
Yes,
beautiful little humans that carries so much weight that you're responsible
yes,
for their safety and their self-care and all of their
yeah.
needs. So kudos to you. Again, you're a Wonder Woman.
Thank
And
you.
of course you are. And this is in also in light of National Women's Month, I think, right? National Women's Month, but today actually is National or International Women's Day.
Yes,
Yes, so we are doing this on a perfect
I
day
love that.
to close out, because you said that you do know when you absolutely need to take that time out for self-care. You know when you have those moments. What does that look like for you? What is your self-care?
Um, self care. I am definitely spiritual. I'm a prayer. I walk around. I'm a little hoarse today. I was yelling at my family this morning and praying and
Yelling
just
and
trying
praying.
to get everybody on one accord.
That's a good combo. Yelling and praying.
It is. I am very spiritual. I think you have to stay connected. You have to have some type of spiritual peace, connection, understanding something, knowing that this is for you and like that you can do this. Like for real. I think you kind of have to talk to yourself, pat yourself on the back and like lift yourself up. Um, Another thing for me, I think that's really important is, some women are not like this. I am a physical appearance type person. I think just like keeping myself together, for a while, and even still, like I'm not at my, like my weight goals, but even just now being more dedicated to like working out and getting in shape. I feel like I've always been a girl that gets my, nails and hair done. Like those things, I've never given up, after each kid. I don't even
Yeah.
like to call it self-care because it's just something I'm
It's a
gonna,
necessity.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do that for myself. Um, anytime I can get away and take a trip, I have learned not to feel guilty at all. Whether it's a trip with my husband, a trip by myself, or a trip with my friends, I
Yeah.
don't mind. You
Yeah.
know, we got to let the mom guilt go
Yeah.
and go,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, just all of those things.
Yeah.
Whatever I need at the moment, even if it's just like riding to Target or to Starbucks by myself, if everybody's driving me crazy and the sun is out, like it feels good. You have to just take your moments or do what you need, whether it's a teeny tiny something
Hmm.
or, something fancy and elaborate. You just have to do whatever is best for you at the moment and not care about what anybody else is thinking because it's for
Yeah.
you and your sanity.
Yeah. And that's that. Yeah. And good thing you have support. So when you do need those moments at the spare of the moment, you're like, hey, I need a
Yeah,
break. You need to grab the kids for me.
yes. And
Yeah.
for those who feel like they don't have the support, plan it. Like I said, we don't have family. I'm working on a nanny because I want one. I do. you know, we don't have, our parents are close. They love us to death. They do anything for us, but they're not down the street.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference,
Yeah.
when,
Yeah.
so it helps. We don't get to date night once a week. We
Yeah.
don't. But when we get to once every 2 months, you better believe, or if we
You're
got somebody here, we're
you're
like,
outside.
okay, yes.
So those are all good things, and we talked about continuing this conversation for sure because you touched on some things that we need to elaborate on, and we might bring in some extra folks to have the conversation. But go ahead
Yes.
and plug yourself real quick. Tell everybody what's the name of the food truck and uh where can they find you on Instagram?
Okay, yes, absolutely. So our food truck is Dang Good Food. We service all of Dallas and Fort Worth. We do caterings. I mean, anything you can think of, if you need us, we definitely have you covered. Like I said, we are definitely trying to expand and just kind of meet the demand. So, please inquire, or if you need any type of event, parties, weddings. We can have the truck come up. If you just need catering, we can handle that as well too. Email me at danggoodfoodtx at gmail.com. And then on Instagram and Facebook, we are Dang Good Food.
Okay. Yes, and I'll make sure that when I post this video, I'll put that in there as well. But I can't wait to try it. I'm in LA, so I can't try it at the moment, but I can't wait. That food looks
Yes.
so good. Um,
Oh, thank you.
but thank you again, sis. I'm so glad
Thank
we got a
you,
chance to do
Holly.
this.
This is so good. You are wonderful. This is so good. And like I said, you have to just keep doing this because it's,
I
you know,
will. I
we
will.
have to
And
get all of this out.
yes, and you will be a part of another conversation. So, happy Wonder Woman Day to you. You're the first Wonder Woman,
Thank
and
you.
happy Woman's Month and Day, all that good stuff.
Yes, to you, right? I know we should have had us a little one. A little
We
tear.
should have. It's time, but I'm
We'll be
detoxing, so I
back,
can't. Yeah,
everybody. We'll
next
be
time.
back. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I love you so much. And we'll
Love you
talk.
too. Okay, love you too. We will.
Bye.
Bye.